guys, how you doing? Hey, welcome back. First of all, I just want to say how amazing it is to see what you guys have been doing. It's fantastic that everybody's been really engaged with this, and really cool to see the kids coming up and getting their stuff done. It's a beautiful recipe, so well done. That's been terrific. And also a quick shout out to Hill Street. Thanks so much, guys, for helping us with the pantry boxes and stuff each week, which is fantastic. Look, today what we're going to do, because obviously your gardens, how are your gardens going? We're going with more winter greens at the moment, because I was walking through the garden this morning and it's full of the greens. So we're going to continue on with some green stuff. But what we're going to do today is make a winter greens and pumpkin tart. Now this is basically going to be an open tart that we're going to cook on puff pastry. Just the sheets of puff pastry from the freezer. And then we're going to wilt down some greens and so forth like that to make this tart. Really simple. This is another great one that's going to be really good for the kids' lunches. Okay guys, so what we're going to do, first of all, we've got the oven on at the moment and we've got the oven set at 180, and we're just going to peel these pumpkins and get them into the oven with the onion. Now I'm just being a little bit rough with that. You know, you can actually use a peeler on butternut pumpkins, that's fine. Now, once again, the purpose of what we're doing here is to cut everything in the same size so that it cooks evenly. So we're going to get nicely evenly cooked vegetables. So the pumpkin's going to go in. I'm going to put some of the onion in there. Now, obviously, of course, the full recipe is with the quantities. Cumin, coriander. I've told you about my love affair with cumin, coriander. I'm also going to put the chili in there because, once again, I love the chili. And you guys, don't forget, use whatever you want to do. Like, if you don't like something, change it out, whatever. But nicely spiced pumpkin and onion in there. Nice dash of olive oil, season it, bit of salt and pepper. And that's going to go tossed into a baking tray, and that's going to go into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. That should be fine. And you know, until it's just nicely caramelized. While that's happening, we're going to get onto our greens. Now, of course, we've also washed those. Don't forget to get down to your stems and everything like that. Once they come out of the garden, we're going to take the tops off like we've done before, and cut them down. And with our greens, we are going to cut these a little bit smaller today. You don't need to swap knives. I don't know why I did that. It's just right there in front of me. And we're going to also then chop the stems up. So we want to make sure that the stems are nice and fine, so that when we saute these down, they will be still crunchy, but nicely edible. We don't want any woody bits in there like that. With this, we're going to get a we're going to cook it with a bit of garlic in the fry pan just to saute it with that. So there are those parts there. So this we're going to saute in the fry pan with a little bit of olive oil. The pumpkin has gone into the oven and it's going to be 20 minutes. Once that's come out, we'll put it all together and then we can start building our tarts. Rightio guys, so we've got a nice hot fry pan. Just put some olive oil in there. Now I've got the stems all chopped up with some of the garlic, and that will go in. Oops. And we don't need to cook this down too much. Remembering this is going to go in the oven on the tarts. So the whole idea is just to wilt that down. We'll season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, but not too much. I don't like using too much salt. Particularly because we're putting cheese in there, so that's fine. That'll be good enough salt, but we'll put that in there. And we're just going to move it around until the greens leaves have wilted down so that they can be put on the tart. Almost there. I've actually got to say, these would be quite tasty just to have just like this. think they did. Now, that's really all they need to have, so I'm going to turn it off. And I've pulled the pumpkin out, so the roast pumpkin has come out of the oven. And that's just going to be put in there. So that's just sort of that cooking process. We're going to take it across to the bench and just put a few other things in there. And then build our little tarts, and then they'll go in the oven. So I'll show you that on the other side. Okay, so guys, now what we're going to do is just put a couple more things in there just to finish it off. Some toasted pine nuts, once again, that's optional. You might like to put some almonds in there. You might not like nuts. You can do whatever you like. A little bit of cheese. So that was just the tasty cheese that we grated. Now, once again, use the grater. And that's just simple. That's our mix to go on top of the tarts. Now, what I also do at this point here is I've got my my pastry now. Just bring it up so you can see it. So that's just a sheet of puff pastry that has been defrosted, and I've got an egg, and I've just beaten the egg, just been a light beating, and I'm just going to glaze the outside of the tarts just to give it a bit of shine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use, because there's excess egg, is I'll pour that into the veggie mix, because it just helps bind it together when we're cooking. So I'll just do that. So I'm just going to pour that into there, and we're just going to mix that through, and it's going to help. Now I'll just do one now, just to show you. You don't need to see me make 4 tarts. And obviously this mix that I've made here is probably going to make about 6 tarts. And it's all to do with how much you want to put on. It's up to you. You want to load them up, a little less, a little more. Always make sure you're going to put it there. So I've got a nice little amount of all the stuff all around there. Try and keep it square. The last thing that we're going to do before it goes in the oven is we're going to get a bit of the feta and just crumble a bit of the feta on. So once we've made all those tarts up, all into the baking tray, they will then go into the oven at 180 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Depends on how your oven works. My oven at home is really slow, doesn't hold the heat very well, so it takes a little bit longer. This oven here is pretty fast, so I reckon 20 minutes. So I'll finish making these up, and then I'll chuck them in the oven, and then I'll pull them out in a minute, well, 20 minutes, and we'll have a look at those. Rightio everyone, here we go. So they've just come out of the oven. I'll just put a couple on the plate here. But you can see how good it is going to be for the kids' lunches. Make a few extra, you know, delicious. The kids will be very popular at school tomorrow. Rightio, so what I've got is there, so we've done the winter greens and roast pumpkin feta open tart. I'm just going to drizzle it with just a little bit of that fresh parsley salsa that we just made. I think that'll really help. So there's a lovely, quick, simple lunch with beautiful greens and stuff from the garden. So there you go. Thank you very much. Brilliant. I'll eat that.